Manny here once again. Welcome back to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineup advice for the NFL. Very soon we're going to be covering the NBA. I have a brand new video for you guys today. I'm going to discuss tonight's Thursday night game between the Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. And before I get started with the video, I appreciate you guys drop a like on the video. It definitely helps my channel. Greatly appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, you haven't been here before, I do 4 or 5 videos per week for the NFL throughout the entire season. I'm going to be covering the whole entire NFL. Plus, I also have a live show where I go over the game stacks, team stacks, any other strategies, tips, injury reports, implied totals. I look to see if there's any other additional value plays that I found during the course of the week due to injuries or coaches' decision changes in lineups, and so on and so forth. When we cover that all Saturday night for about a good hour, hour and a half right here on DFS Zone. So make sure you are subscribed down below. Make sure you put on your post notifications and come down and join the DFS Zone family so that we can discuss football Saturday night. Okay, without all that being said, I'm going to just go through what I believe are the best possible plays tonight, what are the reasons why, and basically just get myself out of here and get you guys out of here. Tonight, well, shootout tonight. I'm going to basically tell you what I think are the best possible plays. Obviously, Goff as well as Cousins are both in play, but I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins as my quarterback that I'm going to utilize. I'm going to have exposure to Kirk Cousins. I believe he is capable of putting up some big numbers here. And I'm also just really touching on the factors that the Rams are going to be without 2 or 3 key players. Talib is out. You got Peters pretty much bummed out, more than likely not going to play. So you got the 2 corners out, and then you got all these weapons that Kirk Cousins has. On top of that, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I think they're going to exploit these guys. And on top of that, they also have the linebacker hurt as well, Barron. So it's a lot of question marks here and a lot of reasons for me to definitely start feeling like maybe I should be leaning towards Kirk. Another reason why I go to Kirk Cousins as well is that I feel he's going to be, out of the quarterbacks that are going to be in this actual say, I think he's going to be the least owned. I think he's going to be the least popular. I think people are going to go with Jared Goff, and for me, I'm a GPP player. I'm going to go with the GPP play. I'm definitely going to have exposure to Goff in some of my lineups because I do play multiple lineups, but I am more so, for me, giving to my viewers, I think you should definitely, GPP play, I think you definitely should take a stab at Mr. Kirk Cousins at 4,500 and then 13.5 on, he's 13.5 here, yes, 13,500 on DraftKings. You know, Cousins, man, 4th in passing in the NFL right now. He's averaging 321 yards per game, 68% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's averaging 22 FanDuel points and 23.6. Yes, 23.6. Excuse me, wrong guy. 23.6 DK points. He has 25 points. Actually, you can see 30-point upside. He's been able to do that. He's done it before, even last year as well. He's capable of it. In the red zone, he's been pretty effective too. 87% completion percentage, 7 out of 8 for 51 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, granted, he's never played a team like the Rams. They're the 6th best defense against the pass in the NFL. But again, we have to consider, take into note, and I'm sure everybody has, the Rams are going to be missing a couple of key pieces to their defense, especially against receivers, and I think that's an opportunity for Kirk Cousins and company to really do some damage here, keep this game close. It's going to be high scoring, so I definitely like Kirk Cousins, all right? When we go to after Kirk Cousins, my next play for me is definitely Todd Gurley. Have some exposure to him. Everybody's going to be on Gurley. He's probably going to be highly owned, all right? He is 16.5 here on FanDuel, and on DK he is 17.4. Very pricey, man, but you're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to at least grab him. He's a dual threat back. He's the best dual threat back in the league, man. 24 to 25 touches per game this guy has. He has 85 yards a game, as you can see here. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 25 FanDuel points, and he's averaging 29.2 on DK, all due to that PPR. So he definitely is someone to consider. He's more expensive on DK by about $900, so I have no problem with him in either one of the 2 platforms. So if you wanted to play him, I had no problem with that. In the red zone, this guy's like money. I mean, 18 rushes, 57 yards, 4 TDs inside the 20, inside the 10, 12 rushes, 24 yards, 3 touchdowns, 85% rushing percentage, man. It's crazy. He gets about 41% of the touches, you know, pretty much, you know, for this team. So he is, you know, he is everything. If they neutralize the run, then he'll go out and get the pass. And if he's able to do well between the tackles, it's just going to open the doors for everything else, especially with the other receivers they got in Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Mr. Cooks. So, I mean, so he's definitely the next guy in line for me. I definitely love him there as my running back. He's my second choice. Another guy that I'm definitely targeting, and I think everybody should too, is the tight end, Kyle Rudolph. I think Rudolph is definitely in play here as well for me. I think he is definitely an outstanding opportunity. It's definitely a great opportunity for Rudolph here. He's 9.5 here, 8.4 on DK. He's averaging 10.5 fantasy points. Now, just look at his numbers. 16 targets, not a whole lot, but 81% catch percentage. He's had 13 receptions, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 10 yards per catch. Okay. He's at 10.5 here, and he's averaging 12.7 DK points per game. He's going up against a team that's given up the 4th most yards, total yards, to tight ends this year thus far. 268 yards on 19 receptions opponents have had with the tight end spot on the Rams team, coughing up 14.8 DK points and 12.3 FanDuel points, which is right around his number. I mean, he could possibly get 13, 14, maybe even 15. The opportunity is there. All right. So Kyle Rudolph is definitely someone I am considering due to the matchup as well. Next, I'm trying to get through here as quickly as I can to give you guys a couple of plays. Obviously here, man, you got a lot of weapons when it comes to the receivers. You got Diggs, you got freaking Adam Thielen. It goes on and on, but I'd be honest with you. Adam Thielen and Diggs, if I'm going to go with either one of the two, I'm going to go with the one that most likely most people are not going to be on. Adam Thielen has been fantastic. 44 touches, 32 receptions, 72% catch percentage. I mean, he's been, you know, absolutely wonderful for this team. Red zone, he's had 2 opportunities, 2 receptions, 10 yards. You know, it's just, I like the playmaking ability here, especially with the corners out. I am more intrigued by Stephon Diggs. He's a playmaker. He already has had a 75. He had a 1 catch for 75 yards. He's had 1 big play already this year. I like him here. His numbers are not better than Thielen, but I think as a GPP player, I would rather take a stab at him. He's going to be more likely least owned compared to Thielen. I think Thielen will be owned more by DFS players. So I'm looking at him. Diggs, 11,500. Where is Mr. Diggs? Here he goes. And on DK, I really... Diggs, he's 12,000 on DK. I have no problem with either one of those prices, man. I think he is definitely in a good spot. He's actually a little bit cheaper, almost 2,000 cheaper than Thielen on DK. DK's expensive. Thielen is expensive on DK, 14.7, but he definitely has 26.9 possible DK points on average there, so that's pretty good. But Diggs, 29 targets, 16 receptions. 16 receptions, 188 yards, and 3 TDs thus far this year. He's averaging 67 yards per game. His catch percentage is a little bit low at around 55%, but he's on the field for about 80 plus snaps, which is really good. In the red zone, not a whole lot of targets for either one of these guys, but I think because he's a big playmaker guy, he's capable of maybe taking one to the house from 30, 40, 50 yards. So that's where I see that I believe that they would definitely attack that secondary, especially those corners with Diggs today. You know, because the opportunity is there. They got the best 2 players not playing. Red zone opportunities, only 1 target, 1 reception. It was for only 3 yards. It was inside the 10, and it was for 1 touchdown. Again, I just like the opportunity. I just love the idea of a playmaking, really good speedster, guy like Diggs, having the opportunity to go up there against a second-tier cornerback that the Rams are going to put out there for him against him today. So that's just what I believe, man. I think that's the best play. Now, granted, like I said, Adam Thielen is in play. All these guys are in play for me. All the receivers are in play. I'm just trying to give you what I think are the best possible GPPs just to be a little bit different. All right. On the other side of the ball, the Rams, they got 3 good, solid receivers too. But I love Woods, I love Cooks, and I love Cooper Kupp. But I'm going to only give you guys one. And I'm going to narrow this down. And I'm going to say definitely, let's put it this way. You should definitely be on Woods. And if you're not going to be on Woods because he's very good in the red zone as well, they do target him a lot in the red zone. If not, then you definitely got to be on Cooks. Okay, so we're going to go to Mr. Woods. So he's 10.5 and 11.5 on FanDuel. He's had 29 29 targets, 19 receptions, 65% catch percentage, 227 yards, 2 TDs, averaging 74 yards per game. He is on about 94, 95% of the snaps, so he's definitely on the field, more than enough for him to do some damage. He's coming in here with 15.2 FanDuel points, and on DraftKings, 19.4. That's a 4-point difference, man. So definitely he is a good play on DK just due to that PPR. You know, it's something you got to consider. So if you could squeeze him in your lineup in DK, you definitely should consider Robert Woods. In the red zone, he's been fantastic. He's had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 14 yards, 2 touchdowns. Going up against this defense of Minnesota, like I said, they're 9th in defense this year against the pass, which is not too bad. It's in the top tier. But 218 yards per game, 3 TDs. The one thing that is really good about Minnesota, other than they're their 9th best pass defense team in the league, is they're holding opponents' wide receivers thus far this year to only 24.9 DK and 19.7 FanDuel points compared to 60s and 50s for the worst teams against the receivers this year. So they're giving up the 3rd fewest fantasy points. I still think it's still a tough matchup for Minnesota. Definitely one of these guys, or maybe 2 of these guys, are going to do work today. I think Robert Woods is definitely a fine play here, as well as Mr. Cooks. I think that everybody should be on Mr. Cooks as well. He's at pretty much the same prices, 11.5 and 10.5. Same exact pricing. He's had 25 touches, 76% completion percentage, which is a little bit better, 19 receptions, 336 yards. He's actually had more yardage than Mr. Woods. 17.7 yards per catch. He obviously is one of those that definitely gets catches and makes things happen with his feet after the catch. 112 yards per game. Can be a big playmaker. He's done it before in the past. He did have a 57-yard reception thus far this year. The one thing is, no touchdowns, which is a really big surprise. But this may be the night that may change. In the red zone, he's been targeted 5 times, 4 receptions. That's an 80% catch percentage, 33 yards. Again, no touchdowns. He hasn't crossed that line just yet, but tonight may be the night that he gets it done. You know, so again, those are the guys that I'm looking at. I think those are the best plays. I think those are the best GPP plays. Again, Cooks is not going to be as highly owned as Woods. I think Woods is going to be more highly owned, and then I think Cooper Kupp is going to be probably even the least owned out of these guys here. And then you have some sneaky plays. Remember, a key thing that I looked at and I saw is in the red zone, Minnesota has had opponents get in the red zone 4 times per game in those 3 games, and they've only been coughing up a touchdown and a field goal. The opponent's only converting 33.3% of the time in the red zone as far as getting a touchdown. So what that leads me to think is that maybe the Rams, if they were to be neutralized in the red zone while he's near the red zone, there's going to be more opportunities for the place kicker, Fickens, to get some field goals. So a sneaky play here is place kicker Fickens for the Rams. Just in case that holds true, that Minnesota is able to neutralize and keep these guys away from the end zone, there may be some easy possible points there. So I am going to have a little bit of exposure to that as well. As far as the defenses, not on any one of the defenses as a possible sneaky play. I doubt very much this game is going to be, 17-10 or 14-13 or something like that. This game should be in the 20s, and I will not be surprised if both teams get in the 30s. So definitely, as far as that, other than that, keep in mind, Latavius Murray. I am not on any of the Minnesota backs. I just not so much so because they had a bad game the other day. I am a true believer that everybody gets a second chance. I think that they will be better today. But with Cooks, not so sure about going. And then you have maybe Latavius Murray. Be on the lookout. Don't fall asleep on Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray may get some action today if there's no Cooks. He may redeem himself and have a big game. I'm going to have probably one exposure to him in one of my lineups. I had him in about 5 of my lineups, about half of my lineups on Sunday. He definitely did not come through for me. But again, the team fell behind, a lot of turnovers early. They had to play catch up. Obviously, he wasn't going to be involved that much in the game. So Mr. Murray, if they can get the run game going, it may be interesting. But I think this game is more pass-oriented. I can see Cousins throwing 300-plus yards, and I can see Goff doing the same. But I'd rather take my chances with a couple of sneaky plays. Another sneaky play other than Fickens for the Rams is the tight end Higbee. Keep your eye on Higbee. I think he's only like 4,000 or 3,900 on DK because it's too expensive on FanDuel. I remember that much. Higbee, let me just look at him real quickly. Yeah, Higbee's 3,900, so he could be a little sneaky value play there on DK where you could pay up on some of those studs and you could play Mr. Higbee. I may have some exposure to him in that aspect as well as the kicker Fickens, like I said. So that's pretty much what I got, man. I think those are the best possible plays, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please drop a like, and most importantly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. You want to be able to get this content on a regular basis, definitely must be a subscriber, so this way it'll be easier for you. And also make sure you put on the post notifications. This way you get that information 1, 2, 3. I will have another video coming to you guys very shortly, tight ends and defenses for the week. And of course, we have the Saturday live show Saturday night at 7 p.m. right here at DFS Zone on YouTube. So I'll see you guys then. God bless, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.